Hey man, so I got your reply and actually just gave it a thumbs up not too long ago. But anyway, so I told you that I would point out some things for your artwork. You wanted some tips and things, so I'd be more than happy to kind of give you a little rundown of things that I think that maybe would help you out a little bit. So I think the first thing I noticed, and by the way, let me just say, you did an excellent job. You did an excellent job. So I really like the way you did the blending. So right here, can you see, for all of you who are watching, you see the way he did this blending here in the shoulder. So that's really good blending with the lighting. Also too, on the pants, I can see where you're doing some highlights. Oops. Sorry. I can see where you were doing some highlights right there. So that looks good. Also too, I'm liking the mask. I like what you did with it. I'm not sure exactly. I know you were using an Android device to create this, so let me know what app you were using. I'm curious. I have a feeling you were using Artflow, but that's just me assuming. But anyway, so yeah, so you did an excellent job. Okay, so now let me just kind of go over some of the things that I think will help you. So one thing that I noticed was, and I actually drew a little layer around it, the shield needs to be a little more, so you can probably see how I made it a little more rounded, versus to where you kind of got a little, it's very subtle, but you got like a kind of like a bend almost going in, and so it's like this left side of the shield kind of comes up a little bit more, or actually it needs to go down. So for instance, if I were to, let me bring this back out here, actually I'm going to move it out the way, but if I were to take a straight line, so make a straight line real quick and kind of run it down about right there. Actually, let me move it up. So let me move this up a little bit. So if I were to put a line about right there, now you see the space that it's making in between there, like we call that negative space. So this gray area right here, we would actually want this side of it, of the gray area, we would kind of want it to bend more down, so like that. So you almost need to have like a sharper bend on it versus what we currently have. So, and like I said, you did pretty good on this. So I want you to understand, like, please don't beat yourself up. You know, this is really good. So I just want you to know, like, I'm very proud of you. So but yeah, definitely I would suggest trying to make the shield a little more more rounded, and then also too, maybe shrink the shield just a little bit. So see, so if we were to have it, I'm gonna kind of drop the opacity on your image real quick. But so see, if the shield's a little, I feel like it's maybe a little too big, so maybe we'll try shrinking it down a little bit. So those are some things you could try with that. So the next thing I'm going to go over to, now this is where I'm going to kind of start moving your drawing around, so I'm going to start cutting a little bit. Now this is a tricky area sometimes in the shoulder, because the shoulder sometimes it's just one of those things. It can be weird, especially drawing this position. But I would suggest, oh my lord, okay, here we go. So I would suggest maybe I'm gonna move this around a little bit. So I would suggest maybe dropping that shoulder down a little bit, kind of more like that, just a little bit, you see? So versus where, hold on real quick, let's see, we kind of have it where at first it's kind of high, and then we kind of push it down a little bit. So maybe drop that shoulder down just a little bit. But you're doing great. Like, this is really good. Also too, I would probably try fixing the foot right here. Actually, wait, let me go back to my line so I can be kind of like scribbling, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this, gosh darn it, okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. So we've got okay, there we go. I forgot my layer was hidden and I was trying to draw on it. Okay, so this area right here, you know, we got the triangle going on. No Illuminati confirmed. Let me stop. I wouldn't show this area right here. So because it almost makes it as if his foot, the way it comes across is almost as if his foot, like he's got half his toes over here and the other half over here. So I would this black area right here, I would get rid of that, and I would probably just make it all one solid piece. And so maybe make it not so wide too, because the distance you got going from here to here is kind of wide. So I would suggest maybe if I say I'm drawing the foot, so I'm going to come over here, and then maybe I would have the foot maybe a little bit more like so, like that, and then kind of come down, and then maybe you see a little bit of the back of the foot right there. So that's how I would do it. And let's see. So, but I mean, you did really good though. The highlight right here, even though it looks nice, I feel like it's in the wrong area, due to the fact where the way it looks is your source of light kind of seems like it's coming down kind of more directly on him, but I feel like you wouldn't need to have such a sharp highlight right there on his knee. So I'm going to select your colors real quick that you used, and I'm going to actually erase that a little bit, and just kind of, you know, I'm not like mixing it all in and stuff right now, but I would just kind of leave that blank the way it is right now. Yeah, so I would just kind of leave it maybe more like that. Let's see, also too, maybe one thing you could do as well is I noticed his eye is a little bit higher, just a little bit. Like, you did really good on this. I want you to know. But so, hold on, let me undo that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me focus so you guys can see this better. Okay, there we go. So I would suggest maybe moving that down a little bit. So you see now his eyes, they're a little more aligned. So for instance, you would want, actually I could probably move that down just a little bit more. So let's put it about right there. That's good enough. So the thing is you want the space right here. Oh my lord. Okay. So you want the point of this white spot to match up with the same point right here. So now we can draw a line that will go across to those two. So you see that kind of ties it together a little bit more. So yeah, I don't want to make this video super long, you know, because I'm literally doing my best just to point out things that will give you help. So yeah, so I hope this is helpful to you. Let's see. Let's see. Man, like I really do enjoy this, the way you've created it though. Like, this looks really good. You did an excellent job on the webbing on this suit. So big, you know, pat yourself on the back for that, for sure. I'm not, let me see. I would probably, oops. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I would maybe move the arm a little bit. So maybe I would actually just kind of, I know I'm moving the entire picture, but I would maybe kind of drop it down just a little bit. Maybe not have it so high up. It's just, you know, it's not too bad. But I would drop it down just a little bit, and then but yeah, so maybe drop it down just a little bit. Also too, I do believe his head is a little too small. Especially the thing, if you notice, if you go and you look at like Spider-Man artwork, one thing that will really stand out about the character is Spider-Man's head is pretty big compared to his body, and that's just kind of the way they draw it. So I would maybe extend his head. Okay, so let's see. So wait, hold on, let me go back. Okay, so you had it kind of like this, which is cool, but I would maybe rotate his head a little bit and make it just a little bit bigger, just a little bit better, like as far as like with the proportions to you know, like his shoulders and his legs and all that stuff. So just continue to keep going. Maybe play around with the background a little bit, like, you know, have some fun. I don't know, you also too, you may not have been done, so I don't want to just assume and say too much about the background, but I would definitely put some let me give you a quick example real quick. I said a short video and here I go, I'm going into long stuff, so I'll give you a quick example real quick. So I would maybe do like the outline of maybe some, you know, black's actually a better color to pick for this. So this is really messy, but it will give you an idea. So let's say these are like some shapes of like buildings in the background. So we'll just do this, and I know this is really bad, but this will just give you an idea. Okay, so we've got like another skyscraper over here and stuff, and then you can do all this stuff to make these to make it blend in with the picture, so it actually looks like it's, you know, part of the picture. So for instance, I'm going to drop this down and then chop that so I can make the edges actually flat, and then we can line it back up with the picture just like that. Okay, so now what I would do is, this is one of my favorite things to do, I would blur these out a little bit, so that way it looks like the camera is focused on him, and that way it makes a separation so that the that him, who's, you know, who the camera that's who our focus is on, we can really focus on him, versus where if we have it in the background, it's kind of like he's getting lost just a little bit. So if you just add just a little bit more to make that depth actually more believable, then that would help you a lot. So anyway, but yes, good job, keep going. I am so proud of you.